Hey, Secrets readers, it's Carlo Larasso here, editor-in-chief of Secrets of Home Theater and Hi-Fi, and we're here in lovely Carlsbad, California? Carlsbad, California.
North San Diego County.
There we go. And we're here at Masimo Consumer Audio, formerly Sound United.
Yes.
All right, and I'm here with Phil Jones. Phil, what was your title again?
Everybody, I have this fancy title. Hi, my name is Phil Jones. I am the Global Director of Brand Activation. What is that? Basically, I get to hang out with the engineers, the designers, the product team, and go over great new products, and then share that information with consumers, with retailers, with the press, and people, and just enthusiasts that really care about the products.
And I'm very lucky, and Phil has been gracious enough to indulge a geek like me to be here at the introduction of the new Def Tech Dymension series, bipolar loudspeakers. And we have a complete line, is that correct?
Yes, we do. So Definitive Technology has been known for many, many years for their bipolar speakers. So what does that mean? A bipolar speaker has speakers on the front and on the back, and they radiate in both directions. What that does is that gives you a large sense of space, makes the room seem bigger. Now, this is the new Dymension series. This is an evolution of the BP9000, but everything about this speaker is different than the previous model. So first thing, even the dispersion pattern is different. While Definitive Technology has started off at doing bipolar speakers, the BP9000, the ones these are now you're going to see replacing, used to be what are called forward-focused bipolar, which meant while there were speakers in the front and the back, more energy radiated out of the front than in the back. It was about 6 dB down in the back.
All right.
What this speaker does is this speaker now goes back to the heritage. So now you have equal amount of output on the front as well as out the back.
Oh, okay.
But for people that like the older style, you also have the option of by hitting a switch or making a quick connection change in wiring to switch from either full bipolar to more of a forward focus with the 6 dB down, based on, allows you to tweak a little bit.
Oh, so adjustable then depending what your room is like, how you have them positioned and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly. So for example, if I have them, say I have them out a little bit from the walls and I want it to be really, really spacious, I will have it in bipolar. But say it's really close to the wall, or I want a little bit more of a focused a center image, then I can hit the little switch on something like a DM70, and it would make the output, it would drop, it would basically 6 dB is cutting the volume by half, and you still get a little bit of that spaciousness, but
a little more of the forward focus.
A little bit more focused, center channel, smaller imagery and stuff like that.
Gotcha, okay. And what, so can you tell me a little bit of the different models in the line?
Okay, so 4 floor standers, starting with the DM80. This is the biggest one. This has a tweeter in the front and 2 5 1/4 in the front, as well as a tweeter in the back and 2 5 1/4. Along the side is a 12-inch subwoofer driven by a 450 watt amp and 2 bass radiators. So think of this as, this would be the equivalent of you buying 2 pairs of bookshelf speakers, one firing forward, one firing backwards, and a DN12 subwoofer.
So basically like a 2 satellite speakers sitting on top of a subwoofer, basically.
Exactly.
Jeez.
Moving down, this would be the DM70. This now still has the same 5 1/4 in the front and the back, the tweeters in the front and the back, but the subwoofer is now a 10-inch subwoofer and 2 10-inch passive radiators.
Okay. Excellent.
Moving to this one, a little slimmer profile. Now we're looking at about a 4.5-inch mid-bass drivers, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, tweeter in the front, tweeter in the back, and now an 8-inch subwoofer and 8-inch passive radiators.
Okay, but still
bipolar with powered subs.
One active bass driver and 2 passive radiators.
Exactly. When we get to this guy, this is called the DM40. DM40 is the only fully passive model in the lineup. So this has 2 4.5s in the front, 2 4.5s in the back, and a tweeter in the front and a tweeter in the back. Now, some things about these speakers. If you walk over here, you look at this, the appearance of this really hides the amount of technology that's in this speaker. But if I come over here, and we look at this guy.
Wow, here we go.
Now we can see what's actually in the box.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, so while this speaker is pretty much 100% new. So whenever you're an engineer, after you launch a speaker, no matter how good it is, you always are thinking about ways you can make it better.
Right.
So along the way, they were like, how can we improve upon what we've done in the past? So pretty much every driver in this speaker is new.
Okay.
It's a new version of the BDS woofers which we use.
Okay.
A new tweeter. It's the old one used to be a annealed aluminum. This is like a ceramic aluminum tweeter. So a new material for the tweeter, a new surround, new bed base drivers, new passive radiators, new subwoofer.
Wow.
And even if I turn around to the back, even the amplifier is new.
Okay.
So it's all new amplification. So everything about this speaker is brand new. And if you can look here in the back, you'll see that the array in the back is identical to the array in the front. If you look at something like the previous model, it would have maybe just a tweeter and a woofer. It wasn't the same size because we didn't want to have the same amount of energy in the front and the back.
Gotcha.
So we said, so right now, if I come out of the box, full bipolar, but say you have it, we want to give you the ability to adjust it. So close to the wall, or you want more of a focused image, that's where this switch comes in on something like a 70. If you look, there's two capabilities. One is bipolar, and the other one is 6 dB down, which reduces the output of the back by approximately half the volume.
Very nice.
Now, we used to have an LFE on the back of these speakers, but we took that off. And that is because we wanted to make sure that the subwoofers, they work hard to blend this subwoofer system with this set of speakers. If I take a volume of a subwoofer and I turn it up and down, that crossover point, say I have it set at 80, sometimes how that crossover, how the subwoofer meets the speaker changes with the level.
Messes with the integration
with the integration. So as I go through here, click by click by click on the volume knob, basically a different curve is applied. So I turn, so the benefit to a listener, if I'm playing something like maybe Michael Jackson or a singer, and I turn up the subwoofers, sometimes Michael Jackson can sound like Barry White, right? So what you'll notice is as you turn up the subwoofer, Michael Jackson's voice or singer's voice, a baritone's voice is unhindered. You just get deeper bass.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't affect the mid-range, the mid-bass tonality. It just gives you more bottom end.
Okay.
And now you cannot do that with LFE.
Right.
Because the receiver does not know how this speaker interacts with that subwoofer volume by volume by volume. But these speaker engineers know that. This is called intelligent bass control.
So it basically avoids getting that sort of tubby upper bass, lower mid-range.
Exactly, because you're trying to boost the bottom end,
Gotcha.
and now the upper mid bass becomes kind of tubby and boomy.
Gotcha.
So that helps you eliminate that. So it just shows the amount of care that goes into these particular speakers. Now
I just need to say a normal owner would not be able to take off the fabric.
Yes, no, they wouldn't.
This is strictly.
This is just so you can see what's behind the curtains, because people see the speaker. The goal is to blend that speaker into your room and not have it stand out.
Okay.
And so it's a big tower, but it doesn't take up a lot of room. If you think about that tower is the equivalent of two 12-inch subwoofers plus a pair of floor standing speakers all in that slender cabinet. A lot easier to integrate that into a home without it being overbearing and overwhelming. But
so nota bene, kids, don't take the sock off.
Exactly.
You leave it on.
Now moving on from that, if you look at the top, you'll see that there's actually a little connection here.
Oh, what's that for?
What that is for is we have a height module. So if I go over here, that's this little height module right here. This is called a DM90. So this is for someone who wants to add maybe, height for maybe Dolby Atmos or any other object-based immersive audio system, and they don't want to put speakers in the ceiling or on the walls. And you'll look at there is actually a little.
So it's a hard connection point then.
A hard connection point.
Look at that.
The benefit to the consumer is this just plugs in, and now your speaker just got a little taller, and
it looks like it
makes for a much cleaner installation, because the wires for the heights are located right here. So the ones below drive the system, the ones above are for the height speaker. So it's a lot easier, a lot cleaner. You don't have dangly wires. Much cleaner design than having that stuff outside. Pretty good architectural.
Yeah.
So this gives you the ability to grow your system. There's also another one that's called a DM95. It's an angled on wall. So say you don't want to put them in the wall, and maybe your ceiling is too high or vaulted, and you want to put something on the wall. That is called a DM90, so a 95, which I'll show you a little bit later.
Okay.
Now there's one more thing. If you look at the back of this one, I told you it had a little switch.
Right.
But if you go over here and you look at the big boy, the 85, to see if we can turn this guy around. This is the fun part of this job. Okay. This thing's so heavy. Okay. So if I turn this one around, you'll see that it's a little different. So these here are for your height. So if I put the height on, that's what that is for. You still have your knob for your intelligent-based control to control how much the level of the volume, but you'll notice there's multiple jacks here. This here is for the front array.
Okay.
If I take, and then you notice there's two positives that I can choose from for the rear array. If I put the positive from this one to this one, like that, it is full bipolar.
Oh, okay.
If I want it to be 6 dB down, I switch to that one.
Flop it to that
it's
one.
6 dB down. So you said, well, why would you not just put a switch on here? Well, doing it this way means I can biamp it. So say I biamp it, and now I can adjust the level of how much bipolarness I want. So this is like someone that likes to dial in and tweak their systems. It's a dream. I can adjust my bass. I can adjust how much bipolar I want. 3 dB down, 9 dB down, 6 dB down.
It'd be like it's an extra level of tweakery then.
Extra level of tweakery. So
now, what would you use? Would you use some sort of what would you use for a volume control if you were adding?
Well, what we use was a small. You can buy a small passive RCA attenuator for pretty inexpensively. So say you went out and say you had a receiver and you took the pre-outs of your receiver. And you run the amplification of the receiver to here, and you get maybe an amplifier. I would probably use the amplification from the receiver to run the back array, and an amplifier to run the front array, and then use a little attenuator to adjust the differentials between the two. So that gives you that's the ultimate ability to tweak. And we want so up against the wall, I can adjust the bass because in my house. One speaker's up against the wall, but one speaker's in kind of a corner. One speaker's kind of an open space like this.
Gotcha.
I could turn this one that's an open space up, and that one, the bass and open space, down, and I get better blending. So you talk about flexibility and room placement. This helps tremendously.
Very, very cool.
Right? So since we've been talking about other things, if you make floor standards, you got to. By the way, look, magically.
Dun, da, da, da.
This
is like Houdini.
This is the new on-wall DM95.
There we go. Nicely angled speaker.
Exactly. So mounted up on the wall, down firing.
Dun, da, da.
They do a really, really good job. And then you can see that you have your keyholes and everything else. And you have a switch that you can go through and adjust, whether you want it to default or whether you want to boost the treble depending on your mounting location. We want to give you the ability to optimize your system. Which way should you set it? The way that you like it.
Very cool.
That's the best thing. We always say preference matters.
The flexibility here is astonishing.
Exactly. 3 center channels.
Look at that.
Reason why we did 3 center channels is think of it as application-based. Everybody has the little credenzas or entertainment centers that there's a hole for a center channel. But the problem is 90% of center channels you see don't fit in the hole. So
people don't talk to each other.
So what they did was they worked. Yeah, people don't. It seems like the furniture companies don't talk to the speaker companies very much.
No, I know.
So this model here, which is called a DM10, is a. Let me make sure it's DM10. It is a DM10. Yeah, I know my models.
All right.
Is designed specifically to fit 99.9% of those credenzas. So you still have your mid bass drivers, your single tweeter, and then you have a passive radiator across the top because the more full range and the lower you can run your center channel, the better the action will be locked on the screen.
Sounds good.
This one was designed for someone who wanted something to fit into a credenza. Then sometimes you may want to have to put it on top of the credenza, and you don't want the center channel to block your screen. And that is where this little guy here. This is a DM20 comes in. Slim center. So instead of just 2 drivers and a tweeter, it's 4 smaller drivers and a tweeter. Allows it to be a lot slimmer than what you want. The other thing you could do with this is you'll see that the keyholes can be mounted multiple ways. So if you want to use them as LCRs, you can.
Oh, you can use it as LCRs as
so
well.
You can mount one this way and one that way.
Oh, that's crafty.
You know, and you can end up with a very nice LCR. The interesting thing is, even if you make it an LCR, you can switch the logo. You can switch the logo.
Look at that, kids. They've thought of everything. Good gracious.
So to make sure that your logo is not...
The all-important details have been tackled here.
Attention to details,
That's
right?
what we got.
And last but not least, what if you have a person that says, I don't care how big the center channel is, what's the best center channel you make? That's where this guy comes in. This is the DM30. This is the king of center channels.
The Neplu Ultra or whatever they say?
Yeah, exactly. So this is, you still have, this one has, I think 4 speakers across the front, the tweeters, and then passive bass radiators and a powered subwoofer. So this is a center channel with a powered subwoofer. This subwoofer will play deeper than most people's floor standing speakers.
So it's basically like a small one of these things.
Yes. So basically take one of those, lay it on its side, and put a little bit of a smaller subwoofer on it.
Good gracious, you people are mad.
Now we still say even if you get this, you still would probably cross it over at 40, 50 hertz, right? But the lower you bring it, like say I'm playing a song with a bass guitar in it, I don't have to take the bass from that bass guitar and send it off to my subwoofer. So that bass guitar will stay far more locked on the screen. A baritone singer, the further I can bring this down, the more the action stays locked on the screen. And we know up to 70%, 77%, I've heard up to, of what goes on in a movie comes from the center channel. So the bigger center channel you can use, the better. Perfect world, 3 floor standards, but most people can't do this. This is probably the next best approach.
Outstanding.
Now this is not bipolar.
Okay.
Because it'd be firing inside of a cabinet or towards the TV. So it's direct radiating with passive radiators on top.
Wow. Very cool.
Okay, so pretty good lineup.
Oh yeah.
Very happy with the performance. You had an opportunity to hear them.
Yeah, we had. You guys were gracious enough to give us like multiple demos while we were here, and I mean, it was impressive. It was really impressive. We got to hear pretty much just about most of the tower line, and actually pretty much everything, the way it was set up.
Yeah, and we tried to do it in a variety of different ways.
Yeah.
Movie systems where we had subwoofers, or where we directed the LFE bass to the mains.
Yeah.
We've done multiple hi-fi systems at multiple price points. One of the benefits of having built-in amplification is you can use, it's less of a load on your amplifier. We all know the biggest load that an amplifier has to play is the bass. And anybody that's been in car stereo knows the quickest way to get great bass and high output and clean is to bi-amp it.
Right.
So second you buy a pair of Dymension towers, it's pretty much bi-amped. So the receiver, the amplifier can focus on mid-range, mid-bass, high frequency cleanly and let the heavy lifting
be done by the internal amplifier. Right. And I mean, I could say this, confidently. I mean, the amount of bass and the quality of bass that was coming out of these towers was, I mean, it was astonishing, actually.
Yeah.
It was crazy good.
Yeah, because Definitive is famous for their subwoofers. And if you haven't had a chance to audition at the Syn 12, or even the big boy like at the Syn 15, the bass is amazing. And a lot of what they've learned from developing those subwoofers went into this. It's just instead of it being a square box, it's a slimmer rectangle.
Wow, very cool.
So pretty good. Any other questions?
Yeah, well, as we know, while I'm shooting this video, it is while these components are under embargo and they won't be released for a little bit yet, and neither will the video. But what is the availability? When will the availability be?
They should be. You should be hearing about them or have them available late February, early March.
Okay, and that's when this video will go out. So kids, you're looking at the past here. By the time you see this, these will be out.
Exactly. And I'm more than willing, if as we add more models or you ever want me to come on, I'd love to hang out with you guys and talk to you more about other exciting products that are part of the Masimo Consumer Audio Group.
That would be fabulous. Phil, thank you so much for your time. This has been, it's been a wonderful experience being here and experiencing the new Dymension line. And it was very gracious of you to basically talk to us and like.
Well, like I said, I get a kick out of this. I mean, I get every time we launch a new product, I get super excited, and it's good to have press and people who are just excited about and passionate about audio as I am to come in and hang out with us.
Very cool. And prices will be announced when the availability when they become available on the market.
Exactly. And make sure you go out and check them out at a retailer. I think you'll be absolutely amazed at their performance.
Very cool. Phil, thank you again so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Take care.
All right. All the best.